Welcome back to Prime Business. My name is Winston Taki, and our first business story. Tax consultant Francis Timoboy has raised concerns about the government's ability to meet its revenue target for the year, citing underperformance in the key sectors such as customs. His comment comes as the IMF team begins its fifth review of Ghana's economic program. Speaking to Joy Business, he noted that the government must find prudent ways to addressing the slack in the system.
My considered view is that the revenue targets, even though it's possible, we can achieve it. It could be challenging. Success is possible, and these are my reasons. At mid-year, we were told that revenue performance was about 44.5% of the annual target, for which some of us thought that it was a positive sign. However, in the same mid-year budget, the Minister of Finance came to declare that customs, which is a major category of our revenue, was underperforming. We were down by close to 1.6 billion, which suggests that even though you will be doing well, if you have major tax handles like custom falling behind, it will draw down the total taxes. Another big issue we have is that historically we have what we call structural, taxing capacity, which we use the tax to GDP ratio to measure. Over the years and for a very long time, we are unable to collect much from our total, GDP that we produce. So there's a slack in the system. We can't change that overnight. Again, we have seen a number of, evasion and smuggling, especially when it comes to gold. So you see that the revenue that we are supposed to get from that angle, government is losing it. And so if you put all of these things together, even though GRA in 2024 achieved their target by 5.2% excess, I think that there's real danger that government may not meet its revenue target. And so I will lean to a very narrow pass or borderline if government should even achieve the target. It's going to be very tough, especially because some of the tax handles that we saw in the mid-year budget came somewhere July. And from July to date, you realize that their total contribution to the tax pool will be very limited because we didn't roll it out early enough. So I think that success is possible, but it's going to be very challenging.
The African Growth and Opportunity Act, a crucial U.S.-Africa trade deal, expires today, and the Trump administration is pushing for a one-year extension. But with no guarantee Congress will act in time, the future of this key trade pact hangs in the balance. Meanwhile, a Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the Association of Ghana Industries, Tonam Akpelu, believes it is time for businesses to explore other markets.
Well, in the immediate terms, it's a bad news because obviously we're going to be losing revenue directly, and jobs will be affected directly because imagine that 50% or so tariffs have to be paid as a result of this particular directive. Obviously, it would add up significantly to the cost of production and will affect many things, including the sustainability of most of these businesses and so on. So in the short term, the effect will be huge, and all the participants will feel it, but as well as all the other people who rely on this company. The only hope we have is that in the medium to long term, we hope to be able to make sure that we turn this into rather an opportunity for Africa. We probably have to begin to look into Africa more. And mind you, Africa have over a billion people. US has about 300 million people. So actually, the African market is bigger. What is lacking is making these markets realizable, because the African market needs to be developed so that we can be able to trade between and among each other. So this is why AFTA become very strategic at this moment. We really have to quickly look into within Africa in doing business.
Away from that, the head of fintech at the Bank of Ghana, Kwame Opon, says the central bank is committed to ensuring transparent regulatory processes for emerging digital innovations across all sectors. He made the assurance at the Digital Asset Summit Africa.
task before us is not simply to regulate, but to govern with vision. Regulatory frameworks might strike these balances that I mentioned, protecting the consumers, which is one of our principal mandates, while enabling innovation and securing financial stability, but also ensuring that we can have competitiveness and align ourselves with global standards while remaining responsive to local realities. Digital transformation in finance is irreversible. Africa has a narrow window to act decisively and strategically. If we succeed in building robust, harmonized, and forward-looking frameworks, digital assets can serve as a catalyst for financial inclusion, economic integration, and sustainable development. If we remain fragmented, or we delay, or are diffident in our capacity to address and confront this opportunity, the risk to our economies and our citizens will only multiply.
In another development, market leader Star Oil has announced an increase in the price of petrol at the pumps from this morning. There is more in the following Business Desk report.
Star Oil has gone ahead to increase prices at the pumps after almost 2 weeks that the values should have gone up at the pumps from the middle of this month. The firm on September 16 also kept prices unchanged despite the fact that prices should have gone up at the pumps at that time by some significant margin. However, with just a day before prices are likely to be reviewed for the month of October, Star has gone up. The price of petrol has been increased by 40 pesos, and a litre is now selling at 13 Ghana cedis, 17 pesos. Star Oil in a social media post said the move was influenced by the recent highs in crude oil prices on the international market, as well as the pressure on the Ghana cedi. Most of the oil marketing companies that have gone ahead to increase prices have linked it to the recent pressure on the Ghana cedi. So far, among the major oil marketing companies, it is Star, Gold, and Shell that have increased prices at the pumps over the past 2 weeks.
We have more business update for you after this break. Welcome back to Prime Business. Now to some more business update. Cement prices have fallen sharply to just over 200,000 units as of August this year, according to a new data released by the Bank of Ghana covering economic activities in the first 8 months. There's more in this report.
Developments can be described as interesting, especially at the time that the data again suggests construction activities in the country have picked up. This was after government started advancing money as payment to some contractors for projects that were frozen last year. It was also after the current administration commissioned an audit into their work. But the Bank of Ghana data again showed sales have picked up from the beginning of this year. However, it started dropping to this new level from the middle of 2025. The release of this data is coming at a time that cement manufacturers have complained in recent times about the influx of smuggled cement products from neighboring countries. So could it mean that all the products being sold on the market are not being captured?
Real estate agency Enterprise Properties has declared support to the newly established Ghana Real Estate Agency Council to implement regulatory frameworks to sanitize the real estate and housing sector. This is part of moves to ensure integrity and fairness among sector players. Speaking to Joy Business at the Real Estate Edge, an initiative by the Enterprise Properties and the University of Professional Studies in Accra, General Manager for Enterprise Properties Limited, Kwejo Nini Owusu, expressed confidence that the council will double up with the initiative to strengthen the sector.
Enterprise Properties Limited organized a Real Estate Edge in partnership with the University of Professional Studies Accra to engage students in the real estate and logistics sector about some happenings in the industry. According to General Manager of Enterprise Properties, JoyNews, the sector has seen a lot of transformation in the few years as a result of many innovations. He noted that efforts are being made by the newly established Ghana Real Estate Agency Council to regulate the industry.
Yeah, I really would like the council to do that. And interestingly, we've also been engaging with the council very closely. And I know there's going to be a stakeholder engagement in the month of October, because the council has also taken steps to start the registration. It's been on the table for a long time, you know. So for me to even have been able to submit my application a couple of weeks ago, it just shows that the council is ready to move ahead. So I just hope that the council will continue to do that process well and as quickly as possible.
He has also been speaking about the partnership to hold the forum in the school.
This gave us the opportunity to come and share some of our practical experience and knowledge, so that they can then begin to also equip themselves to be able to get out there. So for example, the stuff I spoke about, professionalism, using technology, ethics, which is very key, integrity, all of those are things that, find as much as you're going to talk about them in a lecture room, you might not necessarily get an opportunity for that to be discussed extensively. So this is where we fit in, coming to share our journey, our experience, our knowledge with them, so they can help them to build a better future, especially as they go through, whether it's level 100, 200, 300, 400, as they go through their journey in the university.
Coordinator for the event, Sewa Bonsu is expecting the forum to equip students with industry trends and what stakeholders will expect from them as well.
Basically, this is a foundation of our partnership with EPO to bridge the gap. So our focus from now is that we want to bridge the gap between industry and academia. And the only way we can achieve that is when we partner with industry to come along and then pull the drive between industry and academia. So that's why we are partnering with EPO, to come and talk to us about what industry is expecting of the professionals that we are channeling out. So basically that is why we are partnering with EPO for this.
But afterwards, is there any follow-up training, is there follow-up events or partnerships again, so that these students, whatever knowledge that they get from here, can be put into good use?
So what we intend doing is that this is a seminar. So seminars and workshops is a way of telling the students this is what industry expects. So we will keep doing more of these seminars and workshops, serving as a platform where they can know what industry is expecting of them.
The forum was under the theme Driving Change, Equipping Tomorrow's Real Estate and Logistics Professionals for a Sustainable Future.
The Office of the Registrar of Companies is rolling out new digital regulatory measures to ensure to ease the ease of doing business registration and to strengthen compliance. These were made known as stakeholders met in Accra to discuss how enterprise risk management can reset Ghana's business environment. Here's more.
The Office of the Registrar of Companies Stakeholder Symposium was under the theme Resetting the Business Environment, the Role of Enterprise Risk Management. Speaking to the media, Internal Auditor of the Office of the Registrar of Companies, Prince Kaka, disclosed that the registry is developing a new website to simplify business registration for entrepreneurs across the country.
Looking at the documentation, looking at the requirement, looking at even filling the form for people to be able to apply to register a business or a company, the complexity that is involved for people to understand what they need to put on paper is an issue that we are looking at, and therefore we are trying to bring up a software system where we'll simplify everything. We are in the process of developing a software where you go or by your tablet or your phone, you can get in there, put in one or two requirements, and you should be able to have your company registered, your business registered within a short time.
Following delays and failure of businesses to file their annual returns, he added that the registry is rolling out stringent measures to ensure businesses comply with the requirement to file their annual returns on time.
The law requires that you file your annual returns in terms of companies, and in terms of businesses, you renew your business every year. So these are some of the things that we do to keep monitoring the businesses, and we have to set deadlines within the year, a particular time for the business businesses to renew their businesses or come to file annual returns. And therefore, we are not so harsh on the people at this time, but we want to take it a gradual process. This year, we have set a timeline. We know a lot of people were beaten by the timeline, but next year is going to be a bit stricter. So we'll be able to control and monitor every activities that business do and be able to file within time.
Board Chair of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Edouard Nanientwi, also addressed the gathering, urging Ghanaian businesses to focus on creating superior value if they are to thrive amid intensifying local and global competition. He stressed that while technology and globalization have heightened the level of competitiveness, businesses can adopt enterprise risk management as a strategic tool to remain resilient and take the lead in their respective industries.
In the face of serious local and global competition today, the Ghanaian business community must create superior value to thrive. Globalization and rapid technology advancement have reduced barriers to entry, making competition more pervasive than ever. Enterprise risk management equips businesses to proactively manage risk, uncover hidden opportunities, and protect assets, ultimately creating long-term value for stakeholders, including shareholders, employees, and the wider community.
The symposium brought together key players in Ghana's business ecosystem to deliberate on strategies for strengthening compliance, resilience, and growth in the corporate sector.
Ghana is strengthening maritime security with the new patrol vehicles and expanded surveillance systems as the Ghana Maritime Authority deepens collaboration with the Navy. Director General of the authority, Dr. Kamaldeen Ali, speaking in Tema, says the move is critical to curbing accident, illegal activities, and environmental risks across the country's inland waters and ocean space.
As Ghana joined the World Maritime Day, safety, security, innovation, and environmental protection were the focus for Ghana Maritime Authority. Management used the occasion to share ongoing reforms aimed at strengthening the nation's maritime infrastructure. These include the deployment of a search and rescue vessel at Pando Toko on the Water Lake, the establishment of an inland water unit based at Akosombo, and steps to fully operationalize the offshore patrol vessel Esther Oklu in partnership with the Ghana Navy. Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority, Dr. Kamaldeen Ali, also highlighted major technological advances.
Over the period, a new VTMIS has been acquired by the authority with extended capability across the maritime space, up to 200 nautical miles with over the horizon potential. That is also being installed soon, and His Excellency will have the opportunity of commissioning it soon again to make sure that our maritime environment is safe and secured. We are not only looking at infrastructure, but we are also realigning our manpower, which you will all agree with me is the most essential capital that we have.
Board Chair Jemilat Mahama underscored the ocean's role in sustaining livelihoods while warning of threats from climate change, pollution, and biodiversity loss. Director in charge of General Administration at the Transport Ministry, Richard Fidiele, representing Sector Minister, says the ocean is Ghana's economic anchor.
For us in Ghana, with our rich 550-kilometer coastline and our strategic port of Tema and Takoradi, the ocean is far more than a boundary. It is our economic anchor, a guarantor of food security, and our most critical gateway to the global economy. As being conveyed by this year's theme, obligation and opportunities are not mutually exclusive. They are two sides of the same coin. Our solemn obligation is to protect our precious ocean.
Meanwhile, industry stakeholders, including Maersk, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, reaffirmed their commitment to sustainable practices that safeguard the oceans and the ports. The theme for this year's celebration was our oceans, our obligations, our opportunities.
Have you all for business here on Prime Business? My name is Winston Taki. Up next is Prime Sports.